The Seoul Museum of Modern Art closed at 8, but Min-jae stayed until 9, as she always did. Security guard shifts paid extra for the final hour, and she needed every one. She walked the marble halls alone, her short black hair catching the dim emergency lights as she checked each gallery door. The building felt like a cathedral at night, silent, vast, cold. She heard footsteps behind her, expensive shoes on stone. "We're closed," she said without turning. "I know." The voice was calm, assured. She turned to find a man in a charcoal suit, hands in pockets, studying a contemporary installation as if he owned it. His face was familiar in that Seoul way, handsome, carefully maintained, the kind you see on business magazine covers but can't quite place. "The exit is behind you," Min-jae said. "I'm aware." He turned to face her fully. "I have a proposal." She crossed her arms. "I don't take proposals from men who break into museums." "I didn't break in. I was here for the donor reception. I stayed." He stepped closer, and she noticed the fatigue around his eyes, the tension in his jaw. "My name is Kang Jun-woo. I need a date for the Hannam Foundation Gala in 2 weeks." Min-jae almost laughed. "Use an app." "I need someone specific, someone who won't ask questions, someone invisible." The word landed like a slap. She straightened. "I'm standing right here. I meant socially," he said, not apologizing. "You work security. You see these people come through. You know their patterns, their faces, but they've never seen you. That's valuable." "Valuable to who?" "To me. I'll pay 2 million won for one evening." Min-jae's mind calculated instantly. 3 months of rent, her sister's hospital bill supplement, breathing room. But she'd learned young that easy money came with strings. "Why?" "Because I need to attend an event hosted by someone I hate, and I need to do it with grace." His honesty surprised her. "And because the woman standing next to me will matter. She needs to be smart enough to follow my lead, and strong enough to not collapse under scrutiny." "And you think I'm that woman because I check doors for a living?" "I think you're that woman because you're still standing here listening instead of calling real security." He pulled out a business card. "Think about it. But I need an answer in 3 days." He walked away, his footsteps echoing. Min-jae looked at the card. Kang Jun-woo, CEO, Samjin Strategic Advisors. She pocketed it. 2 days later, she called. "I want 3 million, she said, "and I want to know who we're targeting." There was a pause, then quietly, "We should meet." The coffee shop in Seongsu was deliberately plain no tourists, no Instagram aesthetics, just working people on lunch breaks. Min-jae arrived first, ordering nothing, waiting. When Jun-woo entered, he looked different in daylight, older, more worn, less controlled. He sat across from her. "You said yes." "I said I want details." He slid a folder across the table. Inside were photographs of a woman in her 50s, elegant, smiling at cameras. Han Seo-jin, CEO of Daewha Construction, philanthropist, patron of the arts. "She looks nice. She destroyed my company 6 years ago." His voice was flat, factual. "I owned a mid-sized engineering firm. We bid on a government infrastructure project. We won. 3 days before contract signing, documents surfaced accusing us of bribery and safety violations, all fabricated. The contract went to Daewha. My firm collapsed. My partner committed suicide. I was blacklisted for 4 years." Min-jae studied the photo. "You have proof she did it?" "Circumstantial. Enough to suspect. Not enough to prove." He met her eyes. "Not yet." "Then what's the plan?" "Attend the gala. Meet her. Let her see I've survived, that I'm not broken." He paused. "And I need her to see me with someone she can't dismiss. Someone credible, composed, unexpected." "You want to make her nervous?" "I want to make her wonder what I know." Min-jae leaned back. This wasn't about romance. This was theater. Strategy. She could do that. 3 million, half up front. Agreed, and I need 2 conditions. She held up a finger. 1. I'm not your prop. I speak when I want. I leave when I want. You brief me, but you don't control me. Junwoo's jaw tightened, but he nodded. 2. If things go wrong, if she retaliates, if this gets dangerous, you protect me. Legally, financially, whatever it takes. Done. She extended her hand. His handshake was firm, brief, business. Why did you really say yes? He asked as she stood to leave. Min-jae looked at him for a long moment. Because Han Seo-jin's company fired my father 8 years ago after he reported safety violations on a subway construction site. He was right. 6 months later, there was a collapse. 2 workers died. Daewoo buried the investigation. Junwoo's expression shifted surprise, recognition, something almost like respect. So we both have reasons, she said quietly. We do? As she walked away, she felt the weight of the choice settling. This wasn't justice, but maybe it was a start. The boutique in Cheongdam-dong smelled like leather and exclusivity. Min-jae stood in the center, surrounded by dresses she would never afford, while a stylist circled her like a predator. Short hair is bold, the woman murmured. We'll work with it. Strong shoulders, clean lines. Junwoo sat in a corner, scrolling his phone, occasionally glancing up. Min-jae caught his eye in the mirror. This is humiliating, she said. This is necessary. I know how to dress myself. Not for this world. He stood, approaching. These people read clothing like language. Hemlines, fabric, jewelry. Every detail tells them where you belong. If you're off by 1 degree, they'll gut you with politeness. The stylist returned with a midnight blue dress, simple, elegant, expensive. Min-jae touched the fabric. It felt like water. Try it, Junwoo said. In the dressing room, she stared at herself. The dress transformed her, not into someone else, but into a version of herself she didn't recognize. Sharper, untouchable. When she emerged, Junwoo's expression flickered, just for a second. That works, he said quietly. Over the next week, they met 3 more times. He taught her the choreography of high society, how to hold a wine glass, when to bow, and how deeply. The difference between formal and casual speech even in English. How to deflect invasive questions with grace. You're treating me like a student, she said during one session. You're treating this like a job, he countered. It's a performance. You need to believe the role. I don't want to believe it. I want to survive it. Something softened in his face. That's smarter. On their final prep meeting, in his office overlooking the Han River, she asked the question that had been growing. What happens after, when this is over? Junwoo didn't answer immediately. He stared out at the city lights. I don't know. I've been planning this for so long, I never thought past it. That's dangerous. I know. She joined him at the window. Seoul glittered below, indifferent and immense. My father never recovered, she said quietly. After Daewoo destroyed him, he just disappeared into himself. I watched him become a ghost. So I understand what you're doing. But revenge doesn't fill the hole. It just makes it visible. Junwoo looked at her then, really looked. Then why are you helping me? Because some truths need to be said, even if they don't fix anything. The silence between them shifted. Not comfortable, but honest. The gala is in 3 days, he said finally. I know. Are you ready? Min-jae thought of her father, of the museum halls she walked alone, of the careful life she'd built from scraps. No, she said, but I'll be there. The night before the gala, Min-jae's phone rang at midnight. Junwoo's voice was rough, uncertain. I can't sleep. She sat up in bed. Are you drunk? No, just a long pause. I keep thinking about what you said, about the hole. Min-jae pulled on a sweater. Where are you? My office. I'm coming. 20 minutes later, she stood in his glass-walled office. He looked exhausted. His tie loosened. His usual armor cracked. A bottle of whiskey sat on his desk, mostly full. You didn't have to come, he said. You called. He laughed, bitter. I don't call people. I don't do this. Do what? Need anything? Min-jae sat across from him. The city sprawled below, indifferent. Tell me about your partner, the one who died. Junwoo's hands stilled. Hyunwoo. We started the company together right after university. He was the optimist. I was the cynic. It worked. His voice dropped. When everything collapsed, when the accusations came, he took it personally. He thought if he just explained, if he showed them the truth, it would matter. But it didn't. Truth doesn't matter when power decides otherwise. How did he die? Pills, at his desk. Left a note apologizing for failing the company. Junwoo's jaw clenched. He didn't fail. We were destroyed. But he couldn't see the difference. Min-jae felt something shift in her chest. Not pity, but recognition. My father blamed himself too, for the workers who died. He reported the violations, but he couldn't stop the collapse. It broke something in him. Does he know you're doing this? No, he wouldn't understand. He thinks fighting is what destroyed him. She looked at Junwoo. Maybe he's right. But you're here anyway. So are you. They sat in silence. Outside, Seoul never stopped moving cars, lights, lives intersecting and separating in patterns too vast to control. I'm afraid, Junwoo said finally, so quietly she almost missed it, that even if this works, even if I expose her, it won't change anything. I'll still be the man whose company died. Hyunwoo will still be gone, and I'll have wasted 6 years on something that doesn't matter. Min-jae reached across the desk, her hand stopping just short of his. It matters because you're still alive, because you chose to fight instead of disappear. That's not nothing. He looked at her hand, then her face. Why are you kind to me? Because you're honest, even when it's ugly. Junwoo's fingers brushed hers, brief, tentative, electric. Then he pulled back, standing abruptly. It's late. You should go. Min-jae stood. At the door, she turned back. Tomorrow at the gala, I need you to trust me. I do. Even if I go off script? He hesitated, then nodded. Even then. She left him there, alone with his ghosts and his city. And for the first time, she wondered if revenge was really what either of them needed. Or if they were just two people trying to prove they still existed. The Hannam Foundation Gala occupied the entire top floor of the Seoul Arts Center. Crystal chandeliers caught light like captured stars. Women in couture drifted past tables loaded with French champagne and Japanese whiskey. Men in Tom Ford suits discussed market positions and political appointments, with the casual brutality of people who shaped economies over appetizers. Min-jae stepped from the car, Junwoo's hand light on her elbow. The midnight blue dress moved like shadow. Her short hair had been styled severe and elegant, emphasizing her sharp features. She looked, she realized with strange satisfaction, dangerous. Remember, Junwoo murmured as they approached the entrance. You belong here. I don't. Tonight you do. Inside, the hierarchy was immediate and visible. Conversations paused as they entered. Eyes assessed, calculated, dismissed, or noted. Min-jae felt the weight of scrutiny like physical touch. A woman in crimson approached 50-something, beautiful in that maintained Seoul way, smile perfect and empty. Junwoo, what a surprise! Han Seo-jin. Min-jae felt Junwoo's arm tense beneath her hand, but his expression remained placid. Seo-jin, thank you for the invitation. I didn't think you'd come. Her eyes slid to Min-jae. And you've brought a guest. This is Park Min-jae, Junwoo said smoothly. Min-jae bowed, precisely 30 degrees. Thank you for hosting such a meaningful event. Park Min-jae, Seo-jin repeated, tasting the name. Are you in business? Cultural sector, Min-jae replied, the lie prepared. Museum development. How lovely. The dismissal was polite and absolute. Seo-jin's attention returned to Junwoo. I heard you've been doing well. Consulting, isn't it? Strategic advisory. It keeps me engaged. I'm sure it does. Seojin's smile sharpened. Though nothing like running your own firm. That must have been devastating to lose. The room seemed to contract. Min-jae felt the cruelty land, watched Junwoo absorb it without flinching. It taught me valuable lessons, he said quietly. About trust, about documentation, about how systems can be manipulated by those who understand leverage. Something flickered in Seojin's eyes. Unease, maybe, or recognition. Well, she said lightly, the past is the past. Enjoy the evening. She glided away. Min-jae exhaled slowly. You okay? She whispered. Yes, but his hand was shaking slightly. Let's circulate. They moved through the crowd. Junwoo introduced her to executives, politicians, cultural figures. Min-jae played her role. Polite, intelligent, just invisible enough. But she watched everything. The way Seojin commanded the room. The deference people showed her. The careful choreography of power. At dinner, they sat at a table with a prosecutor, a gallery director, and a pharmaceutical executive. The conversation flowed around stocks, art markets, political appointments. Min-jae listened, learning the dialect of wealth. Your dress is stunning, the gallery director said to her. Who designed it? Before Min-jae could answer, Junwoo spoke. More importantly, she chose it herself. She has excellent instincts. The table paused. In this world, that was a statement not just about clothing, but about agency, about respect. Min-jae met his eyes. Something passed between them, unspoken. Across the room, Seojin watched. The speeches began at 9. Seojin took the stage, radiant under spotlights, discussing Daewha's commitment to cultural preservation and urban development. Her words were perfect, inspiring, humble, strategic. The room applauded. Min-jae felt sick. After the speeches, Seojin circulated, accepting congratulations. Min-jae watched her move. This woman who'd destroyed her father and Junwoo's partner, now draped in praise and influence. I need air, she told Junwoo. Wait. But she was already moving toward the balcony. The night air hit her face, cold and sharp. Seoul sprawled below, indifferent as always. Footsteps behind her, not Junwoo. You looked uncomfortable during my speech, Seojin said. Min-jae turned. The woman stood in the doorway, champagne in hand, expression curious. I'm fine, Min-jae said. Are you? You seem familiar somehow. Have we met? I don't think so. Seojin stepped closer. You said you work in museum development. Which institutions? Min-jae's mind raced. The lie had limits. But maybe truth had power. Actually, she said carefully, I work security at the Seoul Museum of Modern Art. Night shift. Seojin's expression flickered surprise, confusion, the beginning of offense. Security? Yes, I watch the galleries, make sure nothing's stolen, that everything's protected. Min-jae held her gaze. It's important work, preventing damage, documenting irregularities. I'm sure it is. Seojin's voice cooled. Though I'm confused why Junwoo would bring a security guard to a function like this. Maybe because I understand the value of evidence, of documentation, of knowing what happened in places people thought were empty. Min-jae paused. Like construction sites after hours, or engineering offices during audits. The air changed. Seojin's hand tightened on her champagne glass. What are you implying? Nothing. I'm just saying I know my father worked for Daewha once. Park Sung-min, Subway Line Extension Project 2016. Seojin's face went carefully blank. That name means nothing to me. He reported safety violations. He was fired 3 days later. 6 months after that, there was a structural collapse. 2 workers died. Min-jae's voice stayed level. Their names were Kim Jae-hyun and Lee Min-seok. The investigation was closed within a week. Daewha faced no consequences. Accidents happen in construction, except it wasn't an accident. My father had documentation, photos, emails. He tried to submit them during the investigation, but somehow they were never entered into evidence. And somehow, The lead investigator retired 6 months later to a very comfortable consulting position. Seo Jin's composure cracked, just slightly. You should be careful making accusations you can't prove. I'm not accusing anyone, I'm just remembering. Min-jae smiled, cold. My father kept copies of everything, just in case, and before he stopped fighting, he gave them to me. What do you want? Nothing. I just thought you should know that some stories don't stay buried. Some witnesses don't stay silent. She moved toward the door. Enjoy your evening, Ms. Han. Inside, Junwoo waited, his face tight with concern. What did you do? What we came here to do, Min-jae said quietly. I made her afraid. Across the room, Seo Jin stood frozen on the balcony, her perfect mask finally slipping. The car ride back was silent. Junwoo drove, jaw clenched, hands tight on the wheel. Min-jae watched the city blur past, adrenaline still singing in her veins. You went off script, he said finally. You told me to trust you. I needed you to trust me. That wasn't strategy, that was personal. Everything about this is personal. She turned to face him. You wanted to make her nervous. I made her terrified. You're welcome. Junwoo pulled over abruptly, the car stopping in a quiet street near the river. He turned to her, expression unreadable. Do you understand what you've done? She's not just going to be afraid. She's going to retaliate. She has resources, lawyers, investigators, media contacts. She can destroy you. She already destroyed my father. And now she'll destroy you too. His voice rose, genuine fear breaking through. I brought you into this. If something happens to you, I chose this, I knew the risks. No, you didn't. You don't know these people like I do. They don't just ruin careers, they erase lives. He ran a hand through his hair, the careful composure completely gone. I should never have involved you. Min-jae felt something crack open in her chest. Is that what you think? That I'm some naive girl you manipulated into danger? I think you're brave and smart and you deserve better than to be collateral damage in my revenge. The words hung between them raw and honest. I'm not collateral, Min-jae said quietly. I'm a partner, or I'm nothing. Junwoo looked at her, really looked, and she saw exhaustion and fear and something else. Something that terrified her more than Seo Jin ever could. His phone buzzed, a message. His expression darkened as he read. What is it? Her lawyer, requesting a meeting, tomorrow. He showed her the message. We should discuss Ms. Park's unfortunate allegations before they become problematic for everyone involved. Threats already, Min-jae said. Worse, negotiation. She wants to buy our silence. Then we don't sell. Min-jae, I'm not afraid of her. You should be. They sat in the car, the river flowing dark beside them. Seoul never slept, never stopped, never cared about individual battles in its endless war of ambition. What if she has something on you? Junwoo asked quietly. What if she digs into your life and finds leverage? Then she finds it, but I won't hide. That's not brave, that's reckless. Maybe. But I'm tired of being invisible, of watching powerful people destroy lives and face no consequences, of pretending the system works when it's designed to protect them. She met his eyes. Aren't you tired too? Junwoo's hand found hers, their fingers intertwining. Exhausted. Then we finish this, together. He brought her hand to his lips, a gesture so unexpected and gentle that Min-jae's breath caught. If we do this, if we really push, there's no going back. I know. And when it's over, when Seo Jin is exposed or we're destroyed trying, what happens to us? The question terrified her more than any threat, because somewhere in this performance, something real had grown, something neither of them had planned for. I don't know, she whispered. Neither do I. But they didn't let go of each other's hands. And when Junwoo finally drove her home, the silence between them wasn't empty anymore. It was full of possibility and fear and the dangerous weight of trust. Min-jae's apartment was small, clean, impersonal. Junwoo had insisted on seeing her home, on staying until he was sure Seojin hadn't sent anyone to intimidate her. Now he sat at her tiny kitchen table, looking absurdly out of place in his expensive suit among her second-hand furniture. "Coffee?" she offered. "Please." She made instant coffee, the cheap kind, because that's what she could afford. He drank it without comment. "You don't have to stay," she said. "I want to." The honesty disarmed her. Min-jae sat across from him, cradling her own mug. "Tell me the real reason you're here." Junwoo was quiet for a long moment. Then, "Because I'm afraid if I leave, something will happen to you, and it will be my fault." "That's not why." "No." He met her eyes. "I'm here because for 6 years I've been alone. I've built walls so high I forgot what it felt like to trust anyone. And then you showed up, stubborn, fierce, unimpressed by anything I'd built, and suddenly I remembered." "Remembered what?" "That loneliness is a choice I've been making, every day, because it felt safer than letting anyone close enough to hurt me again." Min-jae's throat tightened. "I know that feeling." "Do you?" "I watch people through glass every night. I study them, learn them, but I never join them. I told myself it was because I was working. But really," she paused, "I was hiding, because if no one knows you, no one can leave you. Your father, he didn't die, but he might as well have. After Daewha, after the collapse, he just stopped being there, physically present but emotionally gone. I was 17. I watched him become a stranger." Her hands trembled slightly. "I swore I'd never let anyone have that power over me. But you're here anyway, fighting his battle. Not his battle, mine. Because I need to prove that caring about something doesn't have to destroy you. That you can fight without disappearing." Junwoo reached across the table, taking her hand. "What if we're both wrong? What if we destroy ourselves trying to prove we won't be destroyed? Then at least we'll do it honestly." He stood, pulling her up with him. They faced each other in the small kitchen, the space between them charged with everything unspoken. "I need to tell you something," Junwoo said. "The real reason I'm going after Seojin. It's not just about my company or Hyunwoo. It's because..." He faltered. "Because staying angry was easier than grieving. Revenge gave me purpose when I had nothing else. I'm afraid that if I let it go, I'll have to face how empty I've become." Min-jae touched his face, her hand gentle against his jaw. "You're not empty. You're scared. There's a difference." "And you? What are you scared of?" "That I'm using justice as an excuse. That I don't actually care about those dead workers or the truth. That I just want to watch someone powerful suffer, because it makes me feel less powerless." Her voice broke. "That I'm no better than she is." "You are, because you question it. She never would." They stood there, defenses down, seeing each other clearly for the first time. And when Junwoo kissed her, it wasn't dramatic or desperate. It was quiet, honest, a choice they both made with open eyes. When they finally pulled apart, Min-jae rested her forehead against his. "This complicates things." Everything was already complicated. "If we do this, if we're together, we can't lie to each other. Not about motives, not about fear, not about anything." "Agreed. And if we have to choose between revenge and protecting each other..." "We choose each other," Junwoo finished. "The truth comes out. But we survive it together." Min-jae pulled back slightly. "Then I need to show you something." She led him to her bedroom closet, pulling out a worn document box. Inside were folders, photos, emails, everything her father had collected about the Daewha collapse. "I told Seojin I had documentation. I wasn't bluffing." She spread the papers across her bed. "My father gave me these before he stopped talking. He said, 'Someone should remember. This is everything. Proof of the violations. Emails showing Daehwa knew. Communications with the investigator who buried it." Junwoo examined the documents, his expression growing darker. "This is damning. Why didn't your father release it?" "Because he was broken. Because he didn't believe it would matter." because fighting already cost him everything. Min-jae's voice was steady now. But I'm not broken. And I believe it matters. Then we use it, carefully, legally. We build a case so airtight she can't escape it. Together. They spent the rest of the night organizing evidence, building strategy, drinking bad coffee, and speaking in whispers like conspirators. And somewhere in those quiet hours, Min-jae realized they'd become something neither had planned for. Partners. Not just in revenge, but in hope. The law firm occupied 3 floors in Gangnam, all glass and marble and quiet power. Min-jae and Junwoo sat across from attorney Kim Min-soo, a woman in her 40s with sharp eyes and a reputation for taking cases others called unwinnable. "Let me understand," attorney Kim said, reviewing their documentation. "You have evidence of safety violations, cover-ups, and likely bribery in a 2016 construction collapse that killed 2 workers. The statute of limitations for criminal charges has passed, but wrongful death civil suits can still be filed by the families." "Yes," Junwoo said. "And you're not the families." "No, but we can connect them with this evidence, and with you." Attorney Kim leaned back. "What do you want from this? Truly?" Min-jae spoke. "We want Han Seo-jin to face consequences. We want the families to know their loved ones' deaths weren't just accidents. We want the truth on record." "Not money?" "Justice," Junwoo said quietly. "Or the closest thing to it we can get." Attorney Kim studied them both. "You understand that going after someone like Han Seo-jin means they'll come after you? Your finances, your relationships, your past mistakes. Everything will be weaponized." "We understand," Min-jae said. "And you're prepared for this to take years? For it to consume your lives?" Junwoo and Min-jae exchanged glances. In the past weeks, they'd become fluent in each other's silences. "We are," they said together. Attorney Kim smiled, sharp and satisfied. "Then let's begin." Over the next month, the machinery of legal justice ground slowly forward. Attorney Kim contacted the families of the deceased workers. Both agreed to sue. The evidence Min-jae's father had collected became the foundation of their case. Seo-jin's responses were swift and brutal. Private investigators appeared, asking Min-jae's neighbors questions. Articles surfaced online questioning Junwoo's business practices. Pressure came from unexpected directions. Min-jae's museum supervisor suggested she take voluntary leave. Her bank suddenly reviewed her loan applications with new scrutiny, but Junwoo had prepared. He used his network to shield her lawyer referrals, financial advice, even a quiet word to museum board members about potential harassment lawsuits. They moved carefully, documenting everything. "She's trying to isolate us," Min-jae said one evening in Junwoo's apartment. They'd been spending most nights together now, their relationship no longer pretense but necessary anchor. "She's trying to make us afraid," Junwoo corrected. "But fear only works when you're alone." The preliminary hearing was set. Media began to notice not major coverage yet, but legal blogs, construction industry publications, labor rights advocates. The story was simple and devastating. Powerful company, dead workers, buried evidence. Seo-jin requested a meeting. Attorney Kim advised accepting. They met in a neutral office, lawyers on both sides. Seo-jin looked immaculate as always, but Min-jae noticed the tightness around her eyes, the over-controlled gestures. "This is unnecessary," Seo-jin said without preamble. "I'm willing to settle with the families. Generous terms, confidential agreement." "No," Min-jae said. Seo-jin's attention fixed on her. "You're making a mistake. This won't bring your father peace. It won't undo what happened to those workers. All it will do is destroy your own life for nothing." "It's not nothing, it's truth." "Truth?" Seo-jin laughed, bitter. "Truth is what powerful people decide it is. You should have learned that by now." Junwoo spoke, his voice ice. 6 years ago, you taught me that lesson. You destroyed my company, killed my partner, and faced no consequences. And you were right. Power did matter more than truth. But you made one mistake. "What's that?" "You left me alive. And you assumed I'd stay broken." He leaned forward. I didn't. And now every day you spend fighting this case, every legal fee, every news cycle, every moment you have to explain why you covered up deaths. That's your consequence. Not prison, not bankruptcy, but knowing that the truth is out there, permanent and public, and you can't erase it. Seojin's composure cracked. You self-righteous hypocrite. You're doing this for revenge, not justice. Maybe, Junwoo admitted. But the families will still get their day in court. The workers' names will be remembered. And your legacy will include this case forever. So yes, it's revenge. But it's also right. The meeting ended. No settlement, no backing down. In the elevator down, Min-jae took Junwoo's hand. That was hard. Yes. Do you feel better? He considered. No, but I feel something. That's more than I've felt in years. The trial lasted 3 months. The evidence was damning. Daewha's lawyers fought viciously, but Attorney Kim was relentless. Witnesses testified. Documents spoke. The families wept on the stand, finally heard after 8 years of silence. The verdict came on a cold morning in March. Daewha Construction liable for wrongful death, negligence, and obstruction of justice. Damages, 800 million won per family, plus legal fees. Public apology required. It wasn't criminal conviction. Seojin wouldn't go to jail, but her reputation was shattered. Daewha's stock plummeted. Major contracts were suspended pending investigation. Her philanthropic positions quietly disappeared. The woman who'd commanded rooms with a smile now faced cameras with prepared statements and tight lips. Min-jae and Junwoo watched the news coverage from his apartment, exhausted and strangely hollow. We won, Min-jae said. Yes. Then why doesn't it feel like winning? Junwoo pulled her close. Because winning wasn't really the point. Living was. And we almost forgot that along the way. They'd both changed. Min-jae had quit the museum, now working with Attorney Kim's firm as a paralegal, using her eye for detail in investigations that mattered. Junwoo had sold his consulting firm, starting a foundation to support wrongful death cases and whistleblower protection. Different lives. Honest ones. What happens now? Min-jae asked. We choose what comes next, together. She turned in his arms, studying his face. Still guarded sometimes, still carrying wounds, but open to her now in ways that once seemed impossible. I love you. Not the revenge partner, not the strategic ally. You. I love you too. The real you. Short hair, terrible coffee, stubborn as stone. They laughed, and it felt like breathing after being underwater too long. Outside, Seoul continued its endless dance of ambition and survival. Somewhere in the city, Han Seo-jin sat in her office, no longer untouchable, learning that power built on buried truths was only ever borrowed. Her phone would ring soon. Another board member with concerns, another journalist with questions, another contract reconsidered. The machinery she'd used to destroy others was now turning its gears on her, slow and inevitable, and utterly indifferent. And in a modest apartment overlooking the Han River, two people who'd found each other in the pursuit of justice discovered something more valuable. A future built not on revenge, but on the terrifying, beautiful possibility of being known. The truth had weight, and sometimes that weight was enough to tip the scales.